Hey, you're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin, and we've got a friend of the show back here in the studio. He is a business consultant, CEO of Launchbox 365. He is a speaker. He's all sorts of things. And he's injured, and he's here anyway.
I'm on injured reserve.
Injured. Dan Negroni,
Yes.
welcome back to America Trends.
See?
There it is. What did you do?
I fell off my mountain bike in Hurricane or Zion, Utah. So it was beautiful. So it's like one of those things where you did it and you don't regret a second.
Okay, good. Good.
But it's a pain in the.
Well, so were you out somewhere and you had to
we were on a fairly technical trail. And
who was with you? Did you have
I was with four other buddies.
Okay.
They tried to be good caretakers, but I was irascible. I was so cranky once it happened.
Oh, I bet.
So I got my tire caught between two boulders on a downhill, just flipped, and then put my hands out Superman, and I tore up my whole elbow, and I broke my elbow and the tendons. And we were
broke your elbow.
Yeah.
It
was about an 8-mile trail, and we were about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from the end. So they really wanted, no man left behind, but we all had bikes, so they had to go. So I just told them, go figure out where we're going to go to urgent care. And I took my limp old broken elbow, which I knew was broken. I mean, you could hear it, you could feel all the things squishing around.
How long, what's recovery process like?
I don't know yet. Today, I'm going to see the surgeon. I need surgery.
Okay.
And so I don't know what. I'll figure it out today, but hopefully I can get surgery tomorrow.
And you're such an active person, so I hope it doesn't slow you down.
Technical term there, it sucks.
It sucks,
yeah. Totally sucks.
Well, you have a positive outlook on life,
I'm
typically. I'm glad you've
really
come around
trying to figure out, hey, this is a different stage. Maybe I can learn to do different things. I can, once it's casted, start running again and get on my Peloton every day. No weights, no swimming, no yoga. So that's going to be tough.
That's tough.
Really tough.
I remember a story that my dad, back in the, I don't know when this was, 50s or 60s, he broke his arm. 50s. He was in high school, maybe 40. I don't know. He was
when
old.
Breaking an arm was really breaking an arm.
And he had to walk around campus like his cast was like this.
Oh my God.
For weeks and weeks. So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
There's always a bright side.
It's not that bad. I got to go mountain biking. I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good life. I'm okay.
You're okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about, I should say, number one on this list of leadership skills should be a positive attitude like you have.
I think it probably is one of the most important things to be able to have.
So on your Instagram, this is where I go for tips all the time. You have such great tips, which is at Dan.Negroni on Instagram. So you talked recently about leadership skills that you saw, and it's interesting to me because negotiation was kind of farther down on the list, and more emotional skills and how you can...
Yeah, what people call soft skills, which I hate that term.
Yes.
The soft skills, the being human skills, the being kind, the being able to communicate, like that's soft.
That's soft, but it's number one now. I mean, it's on the top of the list.
I don't know whether we've become aware that they're so critical. They've always been critical, and now we're really understanding that the most important skill you can ever have is what? Have we done this before on this? What do you think is the most important life work skill? It's funny, it's in the top 5 answers, empathy. Usually you get communication, listening, discipline, empathy, top 4 or 5. I believe it's the ability to build a relationship. And all of those items we mentioned are components of building a relationship.
Part of that, right.
Why is that so? Why do you think that's so? We're doing coaching right here.
Right, I know, this is good.
Here.
I'm in the hot seat now. Well, because you have to relate to somebody, and you have to get trust and build
even
a
more
relationship.
Primal. We're all human beings,
and
you can't do anything alone, right? We do things as a team. We've learned that since the caveman time, and so the ability to be able to build relationships is the number one skill anyone can have, and that's why it's up there on the top. And what's the first relationship we want to start with?
Ourselves.
Whoa! Yes, good answer.
Did I get that right?
Good answer. Good answer, and it's the truth. Because if you don't understand yourself, what happens? You can't connect with others.
Right.
And so if you look at them, they're all connection skills. And coaching is now at the top of the list, because who doesn't want someone to help them with that?
So that's what I was asking. Coaching at the top of the list. This is the ability to coach other people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's interesting. I think it does the same dynamic as relationships, as we just said. The ability to learn to coach yourself. And when we teach coaching, that's what we teach. And we teach, when you're able to understand how to coach others, it really helps because then you can actually turn it on yourself with all those 60,000 or whatever thoughts are going on per hour, per minute in your head. You have to step back and say, you know, what do I want to do here? How do I want to show up? How do I want to be positive? And believe me, I've had to have lots of fist fights with myself in my head about being positive now, right? Because I want to get cranky as heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, the pity party. We all like, you know, it's a, I don't know if we like to have it. I think it's an innate thing that we all feel. Our first thought a lot of times is, crap, this sucks.
We take for granted how lucky we are. Even trying to tie my shoelace, which now I figured out how to do because it doesn't hurt as much. But I had to have my buddy, my wife, tie my shoes.
So I'm going to go back to your hand for a second. Yeah. You have all your fingers, you can use them, but they're just, they're swollen. Yeah.
Horrible.
So the most basic things are challenging and or you
basic
can't
things
do right now.
Buttoning my pants, putting on the microphone, right?
Yeah.
It's like crazy. You can't, you know, putting something in your pocket, getting out of your car, think of it. And this is my left hand and I'm a righty. Opening a pill bottle, squeezing the tube of toothpaste on that you do with your left. It's insane.
So you have, starting with yourself, this is a great segue, is, you know, you have to have those conversations with yourself, talk yourself off the ledge.
You have to have the mindset that things are not fixed in stone and that the only person responsible for changing those things is you.
Yes.
And so do something.
Do something. I love it. So coaching is at the top of the list, we just said. Innovation, which is an interesting thing for me. So
I think that's growth mindset, creative thinking.
Yes.
Right, the art of the possible.
Yes, instead of just, oh, it's been done like this for the last 20 years, so we're going to keep doing it.
I don't want to hear that ever.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares how it's been done? It's like, what is the opportunity now to do it right? I mean, clearly, history gives us, right, some base or foundation.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean just because it's been done that way forever, who cares?
Right.
And so innovation, I mean, look at where we are now in the world.
Well, right. And in technology, it's happening at such warp speed.
Crazy.
We humans have to.
You would like it to happen in medicine, like be able to get an appointment. It's insane. But there are some really, really great things that are happening. I'll give you some examples maybe when we get further.
Okay. Well, so adaptability, which is, again, going back to your arm, is huge because you got to adapt now. Right?
Well, change happens by the nanosecond. By the nanosecond. And so, yeah, you have to be adaptable. And part of that growth mindset or positivity is, you know, people talk about confidence even at a base level. It's about your feeling like you're secure that no matter what comes your way, you'll be able to deal with it. And that's because change is so much. And when you feel that, if you're on stage in front of people, if you're here in the seat and you ask a question, it doesn't, as long as you feel comfortable that it's okay, we'll figure it out. Yeah. I can do something.
And nothing's the end of the world.
Adaptability, so critical.
I like it. Connecting, well, we were just talking about that really.
The number one thing we need to be able to do is connect with ourselves and with others, for sure.
And do you think all of these leadership skills are things that can be learned, or do you think they're innate in people?
Well, so that's the Carol Dweck's book on growth mindset, the original book. Is do you think they're innate or do you think things can be learned? My belief is anyone can learn anything. I mean, we all have different dispositions that might make things a little bit more difficult for us, but I do believe that. I believe you can teach. Now, people learn differently. Yeah, and people learn differently. But if people want to learn and you really care about coaching them and you want to understand how they learn, you can, if they want to.
I was just going to go to that. You know, the person has to want it to make the change in any way.
Absolutely.
And they have to kind of see their part in it and say, oh, maybe this way I've been doing it is not the best way.
Self-awareness and a desire
Self-awareness
to change.
is the hardest
a desire
thing,
to change are the two things any coach, you see a person like that and you're like, clay, I can mold that person.
Right.
I can help them mold themselves is actually a better response to that.
That's true, because they need to do it themselves, figure it out.
For sure.
Okay, so I want to talk about something that I saw on your feed that's called aggressive patience.
Yeah.
A term that did you coin this, or where did it come from?
No, I think as with everything in life, I borrowed it from someone and just kind of repositioned it.
Because those two words seem very, they don't go together.
So it's almost probably like discipline in a meditative practice.
Okay.
You have to be aggressive about your discipline. You actually have to do it. You have to take the steps. And so it is really aggressively seeking a place of patience.
Okay.
Or one thing we do with leaders that may be difficult, I just saw an article about that today, is we ask them to take a beat and to take a breath, and instead of making statements, ask a question. And so, right.
It's one of the hardest things. I mean, we always talk about my pause button because this is the patience. I'm not an innately patient person. So
so aggressive patience would be really reminding yourself at all levels to push that button, no matter what triggers you. Right. So when we get triggered, we go, and your hand's like nowhere near the pause button.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
It happens.
It's like freaking out.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even know how to get up there.
Right. Okay, we got to take a quick break.
All right.
We're chatting with Dan Negroni, CEO and founder of Launchbox 365. We're talking all about leadership skills, and we're going to authenticity next.
Oh,
This is a big buzzword.
Watch out.
Stick around for more America Trends right after this quick break.